Hey y'all, so today is Sunday, and what that means is it's time for our weekly divination session. And this week I'm going to be reading with what I call the Conjure Bones. And this is a set of bones that I felt led by Spirit to create. They are a set of 13 bones, they're all roughly the same size chicken bones that I have painted and decorated. Some of the bones are a solid color. For example, there is a red bone which represents the element of fire, fire signs in astrology. Hot herbs are the element of heat in and of itself. It could represent someone with red hair. There's also a bone that is half red and half green, and it represents the element of, or the force of luck in the world. Now, in addition to this being a bone reading for you, this is going to be a little bit of a lesson in bone reading because bone reading is not like the tarot for me, in that with tarot I could just pull out my cards, throw down, a row of cards and just start telling you things. But bone reading is a little bit more ritualistic for me. There are rules and rituals that I've been taught to observe, and I'm going to kind of go over that with you here a little bit. First of all, you'll notice that I have removed my watch and all my jewelry. You know, I love my jewelry, but I was taught that you approach the bone reading, you approach the ancestors from a place of humility, and part of that is removing any adornments. Also, you'll notice here I have a white candle which I have lit for illumination, and I have a crystal for clarity. Before the reading, before I started the camera, I did a little prayer to my ancestors asking for clarity of thought and illumination of mind and eloquence of speech to guide me in this reading so that I can convey the message of the bones to you. Really quick, also, you'll notice I have this round mat that I'm going to be casting the bones on, and under it I have this sort of square quilted piece of cloth, and that's because this is a hard surface here, and when I toss the bones, this quilted sort of cloth will act a little bit like a cushion. I will only look at the bones that fall within this circle. Anything that falls outside of the circle will be irrelevant. Also, the mat represents the stage of life on which I will throw the bones, and the bones will be the actors and events that play out on the stage of life. So, without further commentary, I'm going to take out the bones. Make sure I got them all. Okay. And I'm just going to gather them up in my hands. Got them all in the hands. Going to mix them up. Blow on them the breath of life. And then gently toss them. So one bone has fallen outside, and actually it's the bone I was talking about. Here we have the bone of luck. So it looks like luck's not going to be with us this week. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try. I wish I could kind of show you this, but I only have this camera. I don't have one above me. So what I'll try to do is take a photograph of this and post it on my Instagram after I film and post this video. So the first thing I do is I try to figure out what bone falls in the center of all these other bones. And that will represent the central person or theme in the reading. And then the bones around it can represent allies, forces, events. Any bones that cross it can represent enemies or the force of opposition. So what I see right here, the central bone here, it is half blue and half black. And unfortunately, that's the evil eye bone. So the theme for this week is jealousy. That is the thing that we need to really watch out for. We need to be more aware of our own blessings and be grateful for what we have rather than what we don't have. We don't need to look at other people and say, why does she drive such a nice car? Why does she have a lover? Why does he have all that money? I don't have a nice car. I don't have money. I don't have a lover. But instead, you might want to think, I have my health. I have food in my belly. I have a place to lay my head at night. Because, one person's blessing is another person's blame. And while that person may have a lover and a nice car and money, that doesn't necessarily mean they have happiness. We need to learn to be happy with what we have, to be grateful for what we have, so that we have more to be grateful for. Now, interestingly, there's a bone crossing the evil eye bone. It is half black and half white. It represents the crossroads, which means that the decisions that we make this week can go one of two ways, good or bad. Jealousy will lead you down the bad road, the bad place, and it will bring bad back to you. Gratitude will bring you to the good place, a place of blessings and abundance. Now, interesting here, right above this bone, we have, it's a bone which is half yellow, half green, and that's the bone of abundance, which tells me that whatever you work for will be returned to you in abundance. If you work for prosperity, if you work for romance, if you work for love, if you work for good health, it will be returned to you abundantly. If you allow yourself to be led by jealousy and greed, that will be returned to you abundantly. You'll just see more and more things that you want that you think you can't have. The more you focus on what you don't have, the more you'll see things that you feel like you can't have, and you'll just want it, want it, want it. Greed is a hole which can never be filled. Okay? Greed is a hole which can never be filled. Okay, the next thing I see here is at the very top of the reading and away from this whole group is, and I'm going to lift this one up because it's not touching any other bones. It's just a green bone. And that bone represents the element of earth. It represents the material plane that we are in. It represents the manifest. So what that tells me, that's something to aspire to. What do we want to manifest? We're going to focus on what we are grateful for. We're going to take it to a good place, and we're going to work on manifesting good things. The new moon just passed. It was yesterday, I believe. So this is a good time to really set your intentions to manifest prosperity, love, health, whatever it is that you truly need in your life. At the very bottom, I'm going to show this bone too because it's sort of away. It's just a yellow bone here. It's at the bottom. And bones down here at the bottom sort of represent a root issue. And yellow is a color of fear. We fear what we can't have. We fear that not having the things that we want will lead us to greater poverty, to a place of lacking, to a place of loss. And that's what we need to overcome. We need to overcome our fears, and we need to embrace faith, good intentions, positivity. The last thing I'm going to look at is way over here, the bone right here, which is furthest to the right, because from my perspective, the left is the past, the right is the future. And so the furthest bone on the right, interestingly, is the red bone. That represents fire, energy, motivation. So what that tells me is that we need to get motivated. we sit here. Yellow is the bone of intellect. A lot of people think about magic, hoodoo, witchcraft. A lot of people might write about it. A lot of people might talk about it. But how many people actually do it? You have these people that go into these Facebook groups and go online and they ask for spells for this and that, and they collect all this information, and for them it's kind of a intellectual pursuit rather than something that they live. It is not something that they practice. So what this tells me, if that sounds like you, if you're someone who's been collecting all this information and magic for you has been a more of an intellectual pursuit, you need to get motivated and start putting knowledge to use. You need to find that fire and that passion within you instead of being jealous of what other people have and thinking of money, success, love, romance, sex, and whatnot as sort of ideas and notions that may or may not be possible for you. You need to actually go about the work of manifesting it and making it happen for you. And I find it very interesting that the bone of luck fell outside of the circle, because what I'm feeling led to tell you right now is that you make your own luck. You find your own luck. Luck doesn't find you. The best way to predict your future is to make it. And this is the week to stop dreaming, to stop bitching about what you don't have, to stop fantasizing about what you might want, and actually go about the business of manifesting it and making it happen for you. Okay? So that is your reading for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found something in the message of the bones. Again, I'm going to take a picture of this and post it on my Instagram after the video uploads, and you can go to Instagram to look at the bones and you will see what I saw when I read them. And if you don't know what my Instagram is, it's at Carolina_Ding. That's CAROLINA_DEAN. And that is your reading for this week. I hope that you all have a great Memorial Day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.